Hey, welcome to Yerushalmi Chagigah Daf Hey Amud Aleph. Okay, so we're at the top. Halacha Gimel Zaktei Mishnah Oilus b'moyed bois min achulin. Oilus can only come from chulin. The rule is anything that comes as a chiyuv to bring, you can only bring from chulin. You can't bring it from, let's say, Ma'aser Sheni. Shlomim, that can already come min ha'ma'aser. You can even bring that from Ma'aser. You want to Rishon Shel Chag, B'Sham Yom min achulin. So when you bring on the first day of Yontif, um, right, so you have to bring a Karm Chagiga. So Karm Chagiga is a chayva. So that chayva can only come from Chulin. So you have a Yom Tov Shel Chag, the Bavli, the Gersus Pesach, Beshamar Chulin, Beisel Laimin and Maisa. It can even come from Maisa. Rav Tacham Bari Loi B'Shem Rav Yosi Rabbi Chanin Hach Mashim B'Shem is Hill. So B'Shem he said to Hill Dabashu Ba Chayva Ba Min Maisa. How can you something that's a chayv to bring? I can bring from Maisa. Amar lehen, so Basil said to them, Ila b'chol shema ena mevi achas min achulin, b'toifel l'maisa, b'koi mevi achas min achulin, b'toifel l'maisa. I understand. On a regular, like at any given time, if you want to bring, you can bring an ikar and you can bring a tafel. So the ikar comes from chulin, and the tafel comes from Maisa. What they were saying is really what Basil was saying over here is we're not saying to only bring it from Maisa. We're saying you can also bring from Maisa. We agree with you. You have to bring chulin, but you can even bring from Maisa. How do you know Bichlal that there's such a concept that you can add on and to the Chagiga, right? And like we discussed yesterday, and bring that from Maisa money. Right, so it says in the pasuk, it says "V'asisa chag Shavuos Hashem Elokecha misas." I'm sorry, I said masas misas nidvas yadcha shetitin kashivrecha Hashem Elokecha, and it also says ki lo yisuchal se'esoi, which is the same lashon as masas, right? So it says chiyuv emucha aderet ki lo yisuchal se'esoi. Right? Ki yichak mucha amokim asher yivcha Hashem lekecha l'osem shmoi shom, ki yivrecha Hashem lekecha, that's talking about Meiser. So, Zok the Gemara, back to the Gemara, it says, Nemakam Misas, V'nu Lahalon, K'lo Yisucha Seisoi, Masei So Malahalon is talking about Meiser. Avkam, when it says Misas, Nidvas Yotcha, it's talking about Meiser too. So you see from there, even Misas Yotcha, you can bring, those additional Chakiga Karbonas, right? The taisif that you're going to bring can come even from Meiser. Amr was Nemakan Simcha. It's different limit. It says Nemakan Simcha. It says Samacht b'chagecha atuvinu chavitecha, etc. V'nemala halan Simcha, and it says Nasata Kesef b'chol shetav nafshecha v'baku v'tzvein v'yan v'shecha v'chol shetisholch nafshecha v'chalta shom nesham lekecha v'samachta atovisecha. And that pasuk that we just read is talking about Meiser. So again, so Amr Abloz and Emakan Simcha Nemalan Simcha. Ma Simcha Mura Lahala Maisav Kan is Maisa. If that's the case, you have all this Maisa, you have a Kulam Maisa. Why won't we bring everything from Maisa? So Ula by Ishmael, Ma Nemakan Misas, V'Nemalahalam. It says by the Shvat when they left Mitzrayim with Binyamin, Vaterav Masas Binyamin, Mimasas Kulam Chomesh Yadis, right? His sack was 5 more than everybody else's. Ma Masas Shenem Achas Ikka Vasha Tfelo. There was one Ikka, namely Binyamin, we're calling Binyamin the Ikka because he had a 5 extra. The rest was a Tafel. Af Misas Shnemakan Achas Ikka Vasha Tfelo. So you have the Ikka that comes from Chol. The rest can come even from Isa. Fine. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Bohon. Balo Sham Lilo B'Sham Kisham Chagiga Hein. Alom Hu Taifelin. Lulehin Karya. I understand. Shalmi Nadava are like Shalmi Chagiga. So what do I need a pasuk to tell me? Ooh, I can bring. I can bring. I can bring extra carbonas. Of course, I can bring extra carbonas. I have a chagiga, and then I have the rest. What do I? I don't need a pasuk to tell me I can bring extras. So what is the pasuk there for? So, and for the Gemara Lametcha, the teacher should doichnal and yantif, that it's considered to be not just another neder and a dava, which are not doich yantif as we know. It's considered to be a shalmi chagiga. It's going to be a karma chagiga, and it would be doicha yantif. That's what I need the pasuk for. So, the Mishnah Locha Dal Yisrael Yoitzin Yidei Chavasan. They can be Yoitze. And they of Shalmei Simcha, they can be Yaitze Chayvasan, Yotzei Chayvasan, Benedar and Davis, Ma'aser Behema, any of these items. V'Akoyne Bechatas v'Oshem v'Chazei b'Shoik and v'Chor. Avaloi b'Oivsam Menach. Something excluded here Oivsam Menach, like we're seeing more because it says Zevach. Okay. Rabbi Zira Ula B'Yishmael b'Shem Rabbi Lezer Sham B'Chagiga Shachtem Erev Regel. If you shechted your carbon chagiga on Erev Yontif, any Yotzei B'Nidei Chavasei B'Regel can't use that to be to fulfill. Um, you're not can't use it for chagiga, can't use it for simcha either. We'll see why in a second. Hey, Sirabo, what are you talking about? You can't bring Ev or Tani Chagigas Arba, so Yotzim Ba Mishum Simcha. Right, there was an inning to bring a carbon chagiga on Erev Pesach. Right, so people want to eat. You have to eat the carbon pesach has to be eaten b'soiva. So if let's say you had a lot of people and they would go hungry, so you would bring extra. You bring a carbon chagiga. This way, you would eat from the chagiga, and then you'll eat it afterwards the carbon pesach, and you'll be full. So Hesev Reba Botani chagigas abasi yotzim ba mishum semicha vein yotzim b'shem shlamim. So what do you? So what are you talking about? So you see, for simcha, you could use it. Anachnami can't use it for shlamim, no, for shlam for tezvav, but you could use it for simcha. And this is Erev Yantiv. Rab Zira tipatu b'sheshachta b'regel. Must be talking about we shechted it on Yantiv. Amalei Rabah. Nice try. Imish shechta b'regel ain't zuchagas sabas. By definition, it's not chagas sabas if you shechted on Yantiv. Okay, bottom line is Freiti Gemara Mai Kitain. What's the bottom line in terms of the Chagiga and the Simcha? When I was in Bavel, Shmatana, I heard it in Bavel. Ula Baishmo B'Shem Reb Lezer Katsolkis Lahacha Shmatana. I heard it actually over here. Ula says I heard it here in Eretz Yisrael. Reb Chi B'Shem Reb Lezer V'Yisa Ach Sameach is l'Rabbis Leila Yontiv Ha'achrein L'Simcha. It says in the pasuk V'Yisa Ach Sameach. So it comes to include the last night of Yontif, knows the eighth night, what we call Shmini Atzeres. That night is we're marbet for Simcha. That's a time of Simcha, and as you would eat meat. Ayochel af lel Yontif Rishon. Maybe I should be marbet that the lel Yontif, the first night of Yontif, is going to be marbet for Simcha. Tamaloi ma'ach. Ach is cholak. Ach is so afraid. Cholaf. Maybe do it the other way around. You're assuming the ach is being chaylik, that you're excluding the first night of Yontif, maybe, and you're including the last night of Yontif. Maybe it's the other way around, and that's oichalaf according to Rechaim Kanievsky. That we argue is this. It says v'samachta b'chagecha, and that means mishat mischai b'chagiga, mischai b'simcha. When you're chayiv in chagiga, you're chayiv b'simcha. Now erev Yontif, you're not chayiv in chagiga. Right? It's not Yontif yet. So therefore the first night is excluded. Mashen Kain Shmini Atzeres, Erev Shmini Atzeres, what we call today Shana Rabbah, you are mechuyev in Chagiga, and therefore the eighth night is included. Now if you're telling me that Simcha is excluded in the first night, but we said it's always eight. How can it always be eight? Hagatz Mecha. Shechol Yontif Rishon is b'Shabbos. So if if and again, you just told me that you can't bring it Erev Yontif, it's not Zman Simcha. So I have, you can't tell me as a rule that Halal and Simcha is always Shemayin. It's not true because I got Mishchol Yontif recently is for Shabbos. What's if the first day of Yontif happens to be Shabbos? L'shachtem Everegel, you just told me in at Yachal. Tam Rab Ziro Lebe Shmuel B'Shem Lebez Hashem Chagir Shachtem Everegel Any Yotz Ben Dachavas Beregel like we just saw. L'shachtem Beregel, which is the first day of Yom Tif, which happens to also be Shabbos, Einat Yachol Shekval Amadnu. We already also know Shein Chagigah Doicha Shabbos. Chagigah is not Doicha Shabbos. So Amos say Amru Ha'alva Simcha Shmoina. So then I don't have it as a rule. The Ha'al Simcha Shmoina, and Reb Chaim Kanievsky actually brings down the Mishnah should clarify that, like we see in we see by other examples in the Mishnah where they said that that you have. I'm just trying to pull up the example here. Um, you have. Can't find it right now, but you have in. I think it's the Mishnah in Sukkah that talks about it, that there's depending on how Yontif falls out. Some things are only 7 days and some are 8 days. The Mishnah mentions it over there. I was trying to find the example, couldn't find it right now. But that's what should have said. Instead, it just tells us a blanket rule: 8, period. Rabbi Yossi Kama Rav Duma Nechusa. So Rabbi Yossi said this in front of Rav Duma Nechusa. Nechusa means he was Yored from Eretz Yisrael. He went down to Babel, and he said it's talking about Kehanim uva Sa'ir. Talking about Kehanim, and they can eat the Sa'ir that was brought on uh, on um, the the Siri Regalim. So sorry, the Siri Regalim are Doiche Shabbos, and therefore the Kahanim have no problem. They could do Simcha all 8 days because they would eat from the Sirim that were brought on Shabbos. The Siri Regalim that were brought on Shabbos, and they would eat from it, and they would eat it raw. So they could be Mekayim it Shmoina all 8 days. Okay, we said Avloi Bayev Salav is in the Mishnah. So again, like we said before, the Ksiv Zevach, it says Zevach over there. So Zevach cannot be brought from Oifis or Menachis. Okay, so tell the Mishnah Loche, hey, Mi shesh lo yoichle merubim, got a lot of people to feed, Menachas Mumuat, but doesn't have that much wealth. So what does he do? Maybe Shlomo Rubens brings lots of carbon shlomo, so that everybody has what to eat. Oilis Mumuatis, he just won't donate as many oilis. How about the other way around? Someone's oichle muat, and he doesn't have a large family, but Menachas Merubim is very wealthy. So what does he do? Maybe oilis merubim. He brings lots of oilis for Hashem. Shlomim Muatim, since he doesn't need more than that. Zev Muatim. That's if he has a small family and he's poor. Al zenem a mo keser shtei keser. There's a minimal share. You can't get away with zero. You need more keser shtei keser. We discussed yesterday. Zev Reuben. Let's say a large family and has a lot of money. Al zenem ish kvat nes yoda kevikas Hashem lekechesh nasalach. As much as you can, you give a Kodesh Baruch Hu benched you with HaKadosh Baruch benched you with a lot of money, a lot of and a large family, no problem. The sky is the limit. Ani, Ani v'yoda rechava. Let's say he's ani, but he's generous. Karani alav ish kemat nas yada. If he's generous, he give more, no problem. Asher v'yoda mu'ata. Let's say he's asher, but he's stingy. Still, karani alav kivikas Hashem lekechesh nas lach. What did Hashem give you? He gave you a lot. You don't want to give a lot? Too bad. Give a lot. On of Yadmut, let's say he's poor, but he also is not that generous. Al zenem and pachs mishtei kesef. There's a minimal share. That minimal share is shtei kesef.